Hi, welcome to the fourth in my series of videos about different books that I've written, and this time it's about the very exciting, thrilling book, The Crediton Killings. As I read recently by someone who had written a blog post about it, it is a real place, Crediton. Very nice town it is too. In fact, before the Norman Conquest, it was going to be the capital of Devon, very likely. They were building a cathedral there, which ended up as a massive canonical church. We'll put a picture of it in here for you so you can see it. I got to know Crediton because I used to go on holiday down to that area every Easter, and I loved the area. It's something very special about it. It's got very red soil. I assume there's a lot of iron ore in the soil or something, and you get a particular sort of colour to all of the fields when they've been ploughed, because they're very bright red, and then you get the fresh green growth coming through it in the spring. It's a very special area. I've always loved it, and it's partly because of that I decided I was going to base one of my characters, Simon, Puttock, just north of Crediton, a couple of miles north. The story came about really, as I mentioned in another blog post, because of this book. Terry Jones, Monty Python fellow, was a medievalist and expert in literature when he was at university, and all the time he was there he wondered about Chaucer's knight, because everybody's believed that Chaucer's knight was such a perfect, gentle knight. Terry couldn't quite believe that, because Chaucer always tended to pull apart all of the people in his stories. So Terry Jones did an analysis, and he came up with a very different view on what sort of person the knight was. And it fascinated me, this idea of medieval mercenaries, the brutal knights like Sir John Hawkwood and Chaucer's knight himself. And what sort of characters would they have been? What sort of lives would they have led? And how would people have reacted when they turned up in their little towns and villages? Brilliant, I thought. And thus was born Crediton Killings. It's still my wife's favourite book of my whole series, I think. There's an awful lot in it. It starts off when mercenaries arrive in Crediton, but at the same time there's a lot of additional information about the area. The church, for example, was being rebuilt at the time. What was a fairly large church became a massive canonical church, which a lot of people felt was originally going to be the cathedral. So you had lots of building work going on, you had lots of masons, you had all of the different characters around that great sort of work, and at the same time suddenly you had some mercenaries turn up. Mercenaries turning up isn't really a problem, but then they were robbed, and that was the main start point for the story really. It was the robbery, and then a rather unpleasant discovery in a chest inside the mercenaries' inn room. So it's a story basically about the type of people who went out to war and what they did in times of peace. It's not very bloodthirsty, but it's a very good, I think, thrilling read if you like crime stories, and especially if you like historical crime. And the nice thing is you can still go down there, you can still walk around the great canonical church, and you can see things such as the gravestones of Sir John Sully. Very nice, up at the back end, just behind the altar on the right hand side. He's a very interesting knight. I've used him in future books, mainly because he lived to the grand old age of 107, which was not very common, but there were another 18 knights at that time who were centenarians, who were over 100 years old. So it wasn't completely unknown. Anyway, enjoy the book, as books or as e-books. Go and visit Crediton if you get a chance. It's a very interesting little old market town. And of course, if you've liked this video and the other videos, do click the like button at the bottom. Do subscribe, because we like that. And apart from that, I'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks very much for watching.